Hello. Good morning on this chilly Saturday morning. I hope you all had a fantastic weekend, and to be honest, I did. I kept busy. I was out most of the weekend, seeing family, helping family move things, take things apart, dig things up, and whatnot. Um, and I'll tell you, like, it was a lot of work, but I had a pretty good time. Um, So I hope y'all did too. I hope whatever you did, whether it was relax or maybe you worked out more, maybe you went on a date, maybe you hung out with some friends, went out for a drink. Cool. Glad y'all had a good weekend, and if not, talk about it with me or somebody because talking about shit normally helps. Um, so today, I had a few ideas of what I was going to talk about. Naturally, when I started recording, it just slipped my mind, so I'm just going to wing it. Today, I'll go ahead and talk about contradictive actions. And when I say that, I mean like everybody has this ego that they carry with them, this sense of self, this sense of morality, like what you believe is right and wrong, what you believe you do in certain situations. And a lot of times when it gets down to it, what you think you're gonna do might not actually be what ends up happening. And that can lead towards identity crisis, that can lead towards just like depressive episodes, really bad anxiety about the situation. It just depends on the person you are, and for me, it's a little bit of everything, because I don't really even know who I am. Sometimes I feel like I'm 5 different people at once, and I hate that about myself, because I never really know what I'm gonna say or how I'm gonna react to things. So I just like, my goal is to impact everybody positively, and that's whether I like you or not. Like I could think you're scum, dude. I could think you're a complete trash boat, like worthless as a person. I don't enjoy thinking about people like that. I don't thrive off of somebody's downfall, at least not anymore. Maybe at one point I'd get excited if somebody who harmed me or who upset me slipped down a slippery slope, but that's just not me these days. Like, I want everybody to be comfortable. I want everybody to find a sense of fulfillment, to whatever degree that may be, whether financially, romantically, or just fulfillment in their self, figuring out who they are and who they want to be. Because that sense of fulfillment and that sense of self-pride ultimately is what's going to make people treat each other better. From my perspective, at least. I mean, what the fuck do I know? I'm turning 22 in June. I'm a kid still. I'm a kid adult, a young adult, they call us. But I mean, like, contradiction. Oftentimes, you'll get into a situation, or like, maybe you will talk that poopy about somebody you don't necessarily care for. And then you'll think later, like, why did I put energy into that? Like, why am I talking about this person? Why are they on my mind? And honestly, it just goes down to the ego, and you gotta ask yourself those hard questions. Like, why am I putting this person down? At least in my head, in my ego, in my psyche. Why am I bombarding this person with insults when A, they can't even hear me, and B, all it does is make me feel bad. Like, you're giving somebody energy without even directly giving it to them. And yeah, shit, you could break that down into so many categories. You could put plenty of lenses on it, whether it's a lens for trauma, you could associate it with that, or just anger in general, or saying like, oh, it's just human nature, like a lens for instinct. And I think it takes a lot of growth and a lot of maturity and a lot of effort to push that down. And that's really what I'm trying to do, because I ain't trying to dwell on negative thoughts about negative people. And it's really unfortunate that, I end up doing so. And I tell myself, like, I'm above this, I'm above that. Like, I can choose to be a better person. Like 2 days later, I find myself subconsciously thinking, yeah, that's what they deserve. They got what they, no. Everybody deserves, like, the best. Within reason, I'm not saying like pedophiles and shit do, because I don't like that. But that's besides the point. Everybody, whether they wronged you, within reason, they deserve happiness, and it's hard to accept that. And so I'll find, like, my ego contradicting with my sense of morality and my sense of kindness, and I beat myself up over it. And in the end of the day, like, it doesn't matter. I mean, it doesn't. It's negative, and I just end up making it worse than when it started, like when I was having those thoughts, because I'll beat myself up and I'll think, wow, you're such a negative person. Like, it makes me terrified to speak my mind all the time, because I'm not always positive what I'm saying won't hurt somebody. So it's a really weird sense of contradiction, and that's just for me in my personal life. Other times, maybe your goal could be like, hey, I'm really trying to be super real. Like, hey, I'm really trying to be me everywhere I go. Like, take that mask off and just be yourself everywhere, which is hard to do, and also something I struggle with. And you could feel like almost like you're lying to yourself, because you still put on these masks without even trying. You'll automatically, like, switch on that autopilot switch in conversation and just present yourself as somebody who you're not, like, who you don't identify with. And that's really like a hard hurdle to jump for me, because I'm a people pleaser. Like, I want everybody to like me. I'm not sure why. I need to talk about it with somebody who knows what to say about it, whether it's some kind of a disorder or if it's just something everybody does. And why it affects me so much, I couldn't tell you. But it's something I struggle with. Like, I'll talk myself into circles about wearing that mask until I just want to stack on several and be like 15 different people at once, because fuck it, and it's self-destructive. And these are all really minor things that add up over time, because in the end of the day, like, I could tell myself, well, you're just trying to be a nicer person to these people. Well, you're just trying to do this. Well, you're just trying to do that. What I'm really doing is lying. And at times, like, low-key manipulating. Because, even if you're manipulating somebody just to like you more, it's still lying. It's still manipulation. You're still being dishonest. And I think that pure honesty, that just being who you are, no matter who thinks what of you, is something hard to achieve, and it's something a lot of people think they have until they really, like, look at themselves and replay whatever conversations or memories they have of being somebody who they're not. That being said, you also have to identify change, because I'm not the same person that I was fucking 2 months ago. I'm definitely not the same person I was 2 years ago. So it's a struggle. I think it's just part of the journey of finding yourself, which is something a lot of people my age are trying to do, something a lot of people younger than me are trying to do, and something a lot of older folks who look like they got their shit together are still trying to do. And you just got to forgive yourself, and then forgive others, and really try to breathe and focus on why you're doing what you're doing. In the grand scheme of things, I find that at my age in particular, sobriety is great to practice. I don't have anything against drinking. I don't have anything against smoking or using substances. Go for it if it's your cup of tea. Who am I to tell you can't? But I find that on a clear mind, it's a lot easier to identify the problems that I'm dealing with. My internal struggles, my mental capacity for a number of things. For instance, like, I used to enjoy indulging in the jazz cabbage, especially in like high school. I think all of us to a degree have tried it. I've never really met people who haven't. I did in high school, and now they're like super big potheads. But I find that it really masked a lot for me, especially at the time. I had anger issues. I had a lot of really bad, like, toxic traits that I couldn't really see when I was high because I didn't care about anything. But as soon as I sobered up, I didn't put that time in to really like breathe and focus on the problems that I had and the issues that I was facing with my identity. These contradictions that I was seeing with who I believed I was and what I was actually doing. Because I was too fucking high to focus on it. I didn't care. And I think it really like stunted my mental growth. And you know, there's a lot of folks that are saying, I could have told you that years ago. Well, fuck, I should have. I wouldn't have even believed you, but like, I wish I could look back on somebody and say like, damn, you were right. And I know a couple people have told me that like long ago, and I've already talked to them and said, you're right, and now I'm practicing it, so hats off. But yeah, that's my stance on it. That's what I'm doing. I know, kind of jumped around points a whole lot. I don't really go into this with a game plan. I just turn on the camera and ramble, and it makes me feel better. So, what I want to challenge you all to do is to find something along the lines like of contradiction, and whether it be contradiction to yourself, contradiction to something you've told somebody, contradiction to a number of things. Like maybe it's a lie you told, you promised somebody you would do something. You could have just forgot about it. You could have intentionally not done it. Try to follow through. Like even if that person is not in your life anymore, try to follow through with what you said you were gonna do. Just for you, just so you can say, well, I did it. If you're fake around other people, try and actively not be. Like, if you find yourself saying something that you don't necessarily mean, or being somebody you don't necessarily want to be, stop yourself in the moment and say, hey, sorry, I didn't mean that. Even if it's something small, like my favorite color is red. Wait a minute, guys, it's not actually red. I don't know why I said that. I like purple. You know, like, it's a dumb example, but it's little shit like that. And you can find a sense of pride in that honesty, and a sense of courage in facing that. Because it's really hard to like catch yourself with these little white lies. Nobody wants to look dumb. Nobody wants to feel dumb. And everybody's too prideful to admit that. But you need to justify that pride through honesty. And you got to start with being honest with yourself. So try it out. Let me know. If y'all catch me not being super honest, you should be like, hey, you're not being super honest right now. And I'll be like, yeah, you're right. Anyway, that's it for 5 to 20 minute talks in my car, episode 5. Is it 5? Thanks for tuning in. Y'all have a great Saturday. or Sunday or Monday, whenever you're watching this. I'll probably see y'all tomorrow. Bye.